Greetings, people of Earth. Oh, that's a bit more nerdy than I was anticipating. Greetings. Hello. Welcome on this spooktacular night. You are more than welcome, Beef. You got to remember to take those supplements regularly. Terrible things happen if you don't. Hello. Welcome. Hi. I am Pt.1 Dan. And this is Explorers of Elsewhere live on Halloween night. How are we all doing? Thank you, Beef. Yes, we have a menagerie of fantastic costumes. We have... It really puts things into perspective when people dress up as their sort of like RPG characters as to how weird TTRPG character groups are. But yes, hello. Hi, everyone. How are we all doing? Are we all good? Amazing. Well, first things first, hello, Livvy, and hello, Dan. Welcome back. Dressed up as a beautiful Rayri and a beautiful Vanier. Looking very good. Welcome back, Nate. Hi. Is audio not coming up through for you? Okay. It's not. Okay. Audio. Hold. The ghouls have gotten into the bits and bobs. You have so many questions. Beef, feel free to ask away while I click frantically. Discord. I think it's that one. Right, is that working? Can I get some quacks in chat?
Whoop, 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 whoop. Quack, quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
I think we're good. Can we hear the quacks? Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, we are... This wouldn't be an Explorers of Elsewhere stream without some audio technical difficulties. But yes, hello, Nate. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
Yes, you are more than welcome. Dressed head to toe as the fine gent Azakar himself. It's good to see it. And also, welcome, Julia. Hello. Hi. You are a new face on the Thursday live streams.
Yes.
Welcome.
I've done this before.
Are you ready to dagger some hearts?
Is that what we're doing? Oh,
Yes.
God. Okay. I've never daggered a heart before, so I might get confused, but I'm going to try my best.
Well, there's a special rule tonight that because it's Halloween, all dice rolls are rolled with fear. But don't let that. Don't let that stop you. It's going to be great.
That doesn't sound right.
So, without further ado, we gathered here tonight. We have a one-shot. We're going to smash through a whole story in one evening. It's going to be a high-octane ride. Who would like to jump into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Beautiful.
Let's go.
Video.
All across the unknown world, rediscovery pushes ever onwards to find the lands and people lost. All thanks to our brave explorers.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm playing Vanya the Wolfkin Warrior.
Hey, I'm Livvy. I'm going to be playing Rayri, the Spirit Ranger.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Lucretia, a Laravar wizard.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Azakar, a Majani Seraph.
And my name is DM Dan. I'll be the GM in these adventures. The further we go, the more we learn of these magical tales from elsewhere.
Welcome, everyone. As we find 4 explorers stepping through a portal to perhaps a land that is unknown to them each in turn. Rayri and Vanier, this mission, this job that you've picked up, is taking place perhaps a few weeks after the events of the Ulick Mansion murder. There was quite a commotion in the aftermath of it, but the mages, so Meridius has told you that the funeral for Archmage Ulick was one filled with gravitas and a lot of reverence for a man of such powerful stature. But as you step through, accompanied by a familiar face and an unfamiliar face, perhaps, between the four of you, tell me what it was that drew you to this particular mission. The job posting was quite, well, interestingly, the first, in large letters across the top of the notice, was the word urgent. Explorers needed in Cayley Point. And looking through the brief kind of description of a relatively new sign, Cayley Point is, you discover, is a newly established expedition town. And whilst the town is fledging and beginning to kind of get running properly, there is worrying news coming from the next kind of outpost town to Cayley Point, and explorers have been requested with urgency to help with a rather curious magical phenomena. But what is about it that you... the sign doesn't say much else, but what is it that drew you to this? Let's start with Vanya.
The fact that after the events of last time, Vanya was getting bored and was looking for something exciting to happen again, and seeing probably with Ray had come across this posting, it's like, this is perfect, we got something to do. And is like absolutely buzzing to get out and explore again, or get into like the nitty-gritty of something. Hopefully that's not a pansy party, and more like a, ooh, are we going to fight something mysterious, or what are we gonna find?
Okay. Yeah, Ray, why were you just tagging along, or was there something that perhaps have you visited Cayley Point in the past?
I don't imagine Ray would have visited Cayley Point, but I think townships are always an interest to her, as she's lost her own town during the war, so always potentially looking for new settlements in the hope of finding somewhere that she might like.
Okay.
She's like, mysterious, possibly dangerous, brilliant. So good. Settle down.
Azakar, what prompted you to rejoin your former companions on this particular job? Was it deliberate, or was it by accident that you found yourselves working with familiar faces again?
I like to think it's by accident. I think after the last time you saw Azakar, he spent quite a while sort of meditating and finding himself in quiet contemplation, and is now ready to sort of get back out there and start helping again. And I think he was drawn to the fact that this one said urgent. But I think I like to think that he actually saw the note was sort of thinking about it. Then he turned around to see Vanya going, "Oh yeah, let's do it." And he just kind of went, "Oh God."
Also, you left us without saying a word, and as soon as we saw you, I am sure their words were had of, "Where did you go after the party? I tried to look around for you, and you were not there. I couldn't smell you. Where did you go?" You didn't even say goodbye.
Azakal will look down quite sort of dejected, and he will just kind of go, I do apologize. I was, it was a difficult time for me, and I do apologize for leaving you. If you are interested in this job, perhaps we can join forces again.
Really?
Well,
you come with us?
We fought very well last time. Why not again?
Yeah. Welcome back, friend. And yeah, he'll give you the hand clasp.
In which case, as this sort of like warrior's handshake happens, there is a fourth near the sign. Julia, paint us a picture of who's stood off to the side, and was she kind of with Azakar before this moment, or did she just happen to be in the right place, right time?
So there is a Lorivar lady standing there, probably kind of lower part of middle-aged looking. She's got long brown hair tied back. She's wearing sort of blue, purple type wizardly robes, and she has a staff and a hat on, but quite practical garb, good for adventuring and exploring, and a big smile on her face. Hello there. I'm Lucretia. Are you going on the adventure, the explorer's mission?
Yeah. Are you?
Wonderful! Oh, I thought I might. Yes, if that's all right, if I could come with you. I love learning about new things. I just can't get enough. And I saw it had said it was about something about magic. Well, you may see. I know quite a lot about magic. So I'm very excited indeed. You all going? Are you? Are you going? Are you going?
Yes. And
brilliant.
I think there's a moment of this shock interaction where, you know, when you pass someone and you smell like a really nice perfume or something, when you walk past someone you're like, oh, that smells really nice. Well, Vanya's got a strong sense of smell, and he probably like smells someone on you, and he kind of like stuns him, and like he's like, you know, that's someone who's not used to dealing with people
I've had a bath.
Who smell really nice. And it's like that moment of like slightly brushing, like yeah, you could come with us, no problem.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Yes.
May I ask what you bring to this mission?
I know an awful lot about magic and the mysterious. I have a particular interest in the natural world. So I'm hoping that this will be an opportunity to learn something new and hopefully help out in any way I can, really.
Do you magic? You do magic?
Yes. Yeah, and she sort of waves the staff vaguely in the air and says, magic, you see?
Good.
She makes a little flurry of sparks in the air.
We've lacked in magic.
Things?
I mean, of course, a few of us can do some things, and I've seen Azakar in the past do some divine.
I would love to see that.
Slaying, but,
that sounds amazing.
But it's handy to have someone with knowledge
Well, I don't like to brag, but I did come top of my class 3 years in a row at my wizarding university. I won't go on about it, though. Nobody wants to hear about that. But yes, really lovely to see you all. You all look very strong indeed. That's what I tend to lack, is the brawn. Yes, you in particular there. I'm Lucretia, by the way.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Vanya.
Lovely. Wonderful to meet you, Vanya.
Ray. Then he just popped on the side.
Yeah, Lucretia, behind Rayri, almost as tall as the Ignan sprite, is what appears to be a Chihuahua-like dog. That is her size. It's a good 3.5, 4 foot tall, with heterochroma coloured eyes. One orange, one blue? Maybe? Yes. Okay.
Goodness me, what a fine beast.
Vin!
Hello, Vin. Would you like to see my beast? And she pulls out... she pulls out a little creature.
It's going to be one of those Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
There's a little kind of earth elemental creature that can change its form, and it currently looks like a little ghost because it's Halloween. His name's Pebble.
I think he's going to sniff them all over.
Don't, not for eating. For friend. No.
So, with these, oh, sorry, there's one more who hasn't said his name. Sorry.
Yes.
Azakar.
Hello.
Pleasure.
Huh?
He's like the strong, silent type.
Are you good at magic, Azakar? I don't like to make assumptions, but I've met quite a few Majani in my time who know their way around a codex.
I have divine
Ooh.
possession. I am a devote to Aya, and she grants me what I need.
The Great Mother will provide.
Indeed.
So,
Very good.
as the four of you, as this kind of four-way conversation lingers in your minds, you feel that kind of lurching sensation in your gut as you instantly kind of transport from one location in Avamore to the portal in Cayley Point. And whereas behind you was the kind of bustling metropolis of what is effectively the capital city of the New World, you suddenly find yourselves atop a hill of some sort, in the shadow of a large watchtower. And as you look around, you immediately feel a chill in the air. There are kind of dark, ominous clouds rolling overhead. It seems... well, it's difficult to tell exactly what time it is because it is as dark as it is. But you... I mean, yeah, you don't know if it's morning, noon, evening. You certainly know it doesn't seem like it's night. That is for sure. But as you kind of look around, the four of you, you see that around the base of this hill that this watchtower is built on, there are a number of buildings that have recently been constructed, presumably for the initial stages of the expedition town having been completed. And as you kind of take a moment to realign and kind of recalibrate yourselves, reorientate yourselves, from the watchtower in quite a kind of a warm-looking furred coat, walks a rather plump, jolly-looking Lorvar woman. Her cheeks are flushed red. You're not sure, and it gives her this kind of like happy, jovial look that stands somewhat in contrast to the surroundings. and beside her is a rather diminutive Oran sprite woman with a kind of a light pastel-y jade green hued skin, and wearing what appears to be robes that stand apart from this plumper Lorivar woman. But the Lorivar woman looks to you and, oh, hello, you must be the explorers that we've asked for. Thank you for, you are the explorers that we asked for, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Marvellous, you've come at just the right time. We were worried that no one was coming to aid us, but we are truly appreciative for your prompt arrival. Beg my pardon. My name is Mayor Breen Tanner. I look after the town of Cayley Point. Welcome. She asks like your names in turn, and as you respond, she then gestures to the sprite next to her. This is Eldra Macewind. She's one of our finest. She's a bit of a hero around these parts, actually. Yes, she thought that it would be wise if she was here to greet you as well. And Eldra, this little Oran sprite, just kind of gives you a nod. And as Mayor Tanner has just said, thank you for coming at such short notice. We find ourselves with a rather curious but desperate problem. Mayor Breen, please, this isn't the space to speak about it. Please follow me down. Let's head to the inn. We can grab some warmth, grab some food and drink while we explain to you what aid we need. And in a very sort of like a busybody kind of way, the mayor just kind of brushes you up, like ushers you on down the hill. Like there's a path that leads down the northern edge of the hill that kind of mixes in with the path that goes all the way around the base of the hill that the town is kind of built around. Before long, you find yourself at the Weary Wanderer, which is a rather homely looking tavern inn. As you sit down and drinks, courtesy of the mayor, are brought over to you, you can see that Azakar, you note that the barkeep, who's kind of watching you all as you come in, is a very heavy-browed Majani man with really kind of bushy, thick eyebrows. And you note that he just kind of like watches the other three enter, and then when he spies you, he kind of gives you a solemn, closed-eyed nod. And yeah, as you sit down, the mayor says, "So, I must first of all apologise for the somewhat brief explanation on the job advert that we posted to Avonmore. We didn't want to, really kind of exemplify the scale of the dire straits that we're in, lest we kind of scared off potential explorers. But I mean, you all look capable. I'm sure you'll be all right. But we're worried for the safety of the town. You see, we haven't been established for all that long, only perhaps a few months, but links back to Avonmore have meant that we've been able to build Cayley Point up from the ground quite quickly. As such, we were also able to send out additional expeditions to local areas to set up outpost towns and the like, you understand. There was one outpost town we set up, outpost called 10th Bridge, that was set up to the east. But we've kind of lost contact with them. And she kind of looks to you, and as she kind of lets that settle in for a moment, and you notice that she's looking to the four of you as if she's kind of expecting some sort of reaction, when the innkeeper walks over and...
I think you haven't quite explained everything. That you haven't explained the reason why you have lost contact with 10th Bridge, Mayor Breen.
And she, of course, and as she stutters and stumbles, the innkeeper says,
10th Bridge, it is approximately 3 miles east of here. About a week ago, our guards posted in the watchtower noticed that there was a strange...
and he mutters something in a native language for a moment as he's trying to find a word, but he eventually says,
a ship, a galleon, in the sky, sailing the clouds. It appeared quite some distance away. The watchtower gives us a good vantage, and we were able to spy it. But as we monitored it that night, it just stayed in one spot. The next night, we noticed it had reappeared, but it had moved. And the night after that, it had moved again. And that's when we realised that it was moving bit by bit towards the town of 10th Bridge. We've not heard from 10th Bridge in about 3 days. But since we sent a scout.
Oh, that was Eldra. That was Eldra, says the mayor.
We sent a scout, and we've noticed that everyone in 10th Bridge is missing. But the ship is once again appearing in the skies. And this time it's heading towards us. It appears to be moving approximately a mile a night. We lost contact with 10th Bridge 3 nights ago. And it is 3 miles away.
You're here tonight.
The mayor clenches her teeth and... Well... yes...
How many people were at this tent bridge?
Well, it was just an outpost of sorts. So no more than 40 or 50, but that is obviously still a significant number of people to go missing. And
quite a lot of people to go missing.
Kaylee Point.
We do like 2, maybe. I think we did 5 once missing in a crystal, but we didn't. Like that was already quite a lot. 40's pretty decent, isn't it?
Eldra looked all over and found no. It was just as if they'd all vanished. But Kaylee Point, we home close to 400 now. So we're terrified of what will happen tonight. So our request of you is you have all of the supplies all of our supplies at your disposal. We were hoping that you could help stage a defence of some sort to fend off this ship.
Yeah, I see why you didn't put all this in the note.
Yes.
Quite a lot, isn't it?
So, you want 4 of us against a ship that took 40 to 50 people.
Well, yes, but I mean you're explorers, so you're basically heroes, aren't you? So between the four of you will be worth much more than whatever militia. Well, you obviously our militia is at your command, but between the four of you,
I can get on that ship. I can punch it out of the sky.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
So how?
Anyway.
Your companion's knee. Maybe, love, maybe. Well, that's plan B. Punching out of the sky.
What's plan A?
Not punching it out of the sky.
So yes, we don't have all that long. You know, we only have perhaps a number of hours. The ship tends to appear around midnight, so we will have approximately 12 hours to prepare. As I say, anything that we can help supply you with is at your disposal. Although our means are somewhat meagre, we have a blacksmith, a stonemason. We do have a priestess of Gogoldin over at the chapel, and well, I mean, Eldra Maceman, she's well, as I say, she's a bit of a hero, so I'm sure she'll be able to help you as well.
Azakar? During your time with the war, are you familiar with the giant bolty shooty things? What they called? The giant bolty shooty things that you shoot big things out the sky.
A crossbow, massive.
Yeah, like a giant crossbow.
Not personally, but yes.
Oh. Lucretia, what about you? Do you know a big giant crossbow that shoots big things out of the sky?
Do you mean a ballista?
Yeah, that.
Ah.
Could we make a bunch of them and shoot it out the sky? Or at least shoot me up the sky so I can punch it out the sky.
What if these 40 missing people are on the ship?
Oh.
They might be like, what's them in there? Oh, we're just going to shoot them out of the sky. Well, I guess it's like, kill 40, save 400, give or take.
Sorry,
That's
can
some
I
advanced moral philosophy there, Riri.
can I just say, Dan, with your face paint on, whenever you furrow your brow, it exaggerates it beautifully.
Oh, goodness me.
Well, we have ready supplies of lumber and stone, but unless any of you happen to be, wartime artillery engineers, I'm not entirely sure we'd be able to build a ballista in time. But
Well, luckily I have an experience in experience ballista builder.
But I will leave you to consider your plans. As I say, I must stress we don't have very much time. But
Do
if
you
there's
even have a place for your townspeople to evacuate to?
well,
Basement, shelter,
A cave?
away from this town.
well, I mean, we could flee the town, but then we might just be run down by this ship. It flies on the clouds, you understand?
Big is it?
She starts sort of like gesturing with her hands, and then the innkeeper, like the Majani innkeeper, just, it's the size of a boat.
What?
The size of a ship.
A boat. Well, there's like little boats, and then there's like a big ship.
Like a galleon.
Oh, yeah, it's quite big, isn't it?
You see, you keep calling it a ship and a galleon, but I've heard tell that it's possible to build these sort of airships. I mean, they're mainly theoretical, but maybe somebody pulled it off. Is that what we're talking about? Like an airship? Some
Well,
kind
it's
of
ship in the air.
invasion? Some kind of invading force, perhaps?
The two of them shrug. Perhaps, says the mayor.
I mean, does it look like it's made for battle?
Well, it's curious. Because it just appears in the night sky. It just appears in the night sky and then just hovers in place until it disappears a few hours later, and then the next night it reappears a mile away from where we last saw it until it appeared over 10th Bridge, and well,
We all know how that went.
well, yes.
Well, we don't. That's the problem.
I suppose not.
Like some kind of unidentified flying ship. Interesting.
So the mayor, the mayor goes to excuse herself. She tells you that if you have any questions, you can find her in her residence. Yes, you have free run of the town, and you have her explicit authority to kind of requisition anything that you need.
Is the bar tab paid for? Is that part of the
Yes.
position?
Yes, of course.
Right, drinks all round, guys.
Sounds a great idea.
I would advise that we keep our wits
Spirits
with
up.
us.
Yeah.
I think better after a pint.
So, so yes. What is between the four of you? What is your what plans have you got? What as it currently stands? Obviously, the information you've got is that it's this kind of mysterious floating ship that appears in the night sky. It relocates about a mile each night, and it is now en route to Cayley Point.
Cool.
How far? What's the time, Mr. Wolf?
So you've got, give or take, 12 hours.
And it's 3 miles. Is it worth just going to the place where they all disappeared? Was it 3 miles away? That won't take us long, will it?
You could, if
Go
you
there,
want,
see what's there. See if there's any stuff, bodies.
if you wanted to head to 10th Bridge, investigate and come back, we could call that 2 hours of your 10, of your 12. Sorry.
I think it would take that.
Yeah.
You know, it might be we might find the answer. It might just be a load of viscera.
So, are all four of you heading to 10th Bridge?
Yeah, can we convince Eldra to come with us, because she's seen it before?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you track down the little Auron sprite, and she's more than happy to go with you. She, as she prepares herself, you notice that she's equipped herself with a spear that she seems to hold with a lot of familiarity and confidence. But between the four of you, as you kind of regard her, as she stands, she strikes this sort of almost accidental heroic pose, but her hair just seems to flutter as if it's gently blowing in the wind, even though there is no breeze to speak of. She looks at you and if you'll follow me to 10th Bridge, it's this way.
As
You want
we're
to hop on? I say as I'm mounted Vinny. It's a long walk. You can take both of us.
Eldra kind of glances from side to side and, "Oh, go on then," she says, and then climbs on the back of the dire chihuahua.
As we're all setting off, I think Lucretia's going to say, "Come along then, chaps. Time for a jolly adventure." And everybody gets a hope.
Oh.
Oh,
Full spirit trait.
okay.
Pretty
Grab us a hope. What about this journey ahead?
Yes.
One hope for everyone. Clicking all the buttons. Right, everyone's up to 3 hope. Very good. Very good, very good. That does sound OP, doesn't it, Beef? Cool. So, a relatively short time later, the path to 10th Bridge is relatively easy going. So you're able to get there within sort of like 35-40 minutes. And 10th Bridge, for all intents and purposes, is like a small wooden kind of watchtower of sorts with a couple of buildings kind of scattered round. You can see that there are the beginnings of what would look like crop fields. So perhaps they were beginning to build the extension to Cayley Point. But yeah, as you arrive, like the gloom overhead feels a bit more kind of pervasive. It clings to you a bit more. And something you notice as you arrive is the silence. There is no life in 10th Bridge.
Not even birds.
No.
Oh, okay.
It is utterly silent.
Whoa.
I will immediately look for footprints in terms of to try and gauge if there seemed to be more foot traffic than the general idea we were given for the population of this town. So the idea I'm going for is if, for example, these this boat arrived, whether they dropped a bunch of people that then terrorized the town in some way. So I'm trying to see if there's any signs of like emphasized.
Sure.
Like a battle or a war.
Yeah.
Or a
Any
trampling.
signs? Yeah. Or is it a case that there is enough for just the population and it just disappeared?
Sure. Roll me an instinct. That sounds like.
Yep, I am going to.
And just as a little PSA for the audience, in this episode and future episodes, we are going to be sort of using the undocumented changes to the 1.5 rule set that we use in the last Critical Role playtest. So we've got changes to armor. We're also trying the game's play style. We're making it, well, we're trying something new, but we'll see how that pans out. But yes, Dan, by all means, please roll me this.
I'm going to use my heightened senses to try and catch any scents, to try and perceive all around me, to hear anything, etc., etc.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend a hope to bring it down to 2, to give myself a +2 onto my already +2 instinct roll, so I get +4 total for this roll. Here we go. I rolled 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 with fear.
Ooh.
22 with fear. You... Okay. Just as an aside, what's everyone else doing while Vanier does his initial scout?
I kind of pop off Vinny. I've assumed the little sprite hops off with me, and kind of just having a little wander around, just kind of looking at, just figuring out, quite just a bit in awe that it's just so quiet and bizarre. And just seeing if there's any bits around, food, items, livable, just an outpost.
Azakar?
Is the watchtower, is it like a proper building itself? Or is it just like a tall structure that you can watch from?
So it's it's constructed from wood as opposed to the stone structure in the centre of Cayley Point. It is like definitively early Age of Empires level.
Right.
But yes, it looks. I mean, it looks relatively well constructed, and yeah, like it looks intact. It doesn't look like it's been attacked. But yeah, that kind of primarily dominates this little outpost. Lucretia, what's she doing while Vanier's rolling?
I think her first thing will be to look around and see if there's any signs of magical devastation, intervention. Like, could it be that there was a magical attack upon this place? Are there any sort of vestiges, leftover signs of a big magical event having taken place that might be responsible for the lifeless?
I mean, that sounds a bit like... I'm gonna... roll me a knowledge check.
Sure.
In so much as it's a spell cast roll.
So I'm going to roll my 2d12
Yeah.
and add 3 to it.
Yeah.
So it's 24 with hope.
Okay, so
Gain a hope.
you go up to 4 hope.
Thanks.
And Vanier rolled with fear, so I go up to 5 fear. So let me just do that. Okay, cool. Between Azakar and Raimi, did either of the two of you want to do any rolls?
I was going to say, because I'm looking more for like a structured building that it looked like people would have been in. So
sure,
sort of like the biggest building that looked like it would have a good majority of people.
Okay.
In there.
I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be the watchtower. It certainly looks the most defensible of the buildings. Sorry, Ravi, was there anything you were sort of like rolling, or were you just?
I'll roll. I just want to see what it looks like potentially that somebody has, like, if there's any sign of life lived in, like, you know, has there been a fire up around at some point? Has there been things left, like they've just kind of disappeared? Like, are there half-eaten sandwiches? I don't know, you know, like they just...
It's like the Marie Celeste, where everyone just disappeared in the middle of their dinner type thing.
In the middle of their dinner.
I mean, would you perhaps be tag teaming with Vanier to...
I'm happy to, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
I'm kind of investigating to see if, yeah, has there been a fight? Has there been a struggle? Has there been...
Okay. In which case, because let's assume that Lucretia is kind of tagging along with Azakar. We'll do Lucretia's bit first. As you roll a honkingly high roll, you notice that this chill that's in the air, it's something that you picked up on from the moment you arrived, because it is unnatural. And as you take a moment and kind of attune to the ambient manner in the air around you, you realise that a magical force lingers here. It permeates the air, and off the back of that higher roll, you also know it thrums with necromancy.
Okay.
And Vanier and Rayri, as you sort of like look around, Vanya, you notice that there are in fact a number of unusual footprints kind of scattered around that, you know, only your trained eye was able to pick up. But they're different to the clearly booted footprints that you can see, and looking around, there seems to have been some sort of kind of scuffle, but these other footprints, they look bony. And as you think that, just a little way over, Azakar, as you kind of enter into the watchtower, you hear a... and with a clatter, this skeletal figure lurches out towards you, clutching what appears to be a rusted, curved sword. And Lucretia, Rayri, and Vanier, you also notice like 3 more of these kind of skeletal warriors staggering out from like various corners of the outpost. And as these skeletons kind of like begin moving towards you, let's not roll initiative because the action tracker is not a thing. Let's get fruity. So tell you what, let's start with Azakar. So bear in mind we are using the new rules, which means there is no action tracker. Instead, if you miss or roll with fear, then I get to activate a token, like a monster, and I can spend fear to activate additional monsters if I so wish. But Azakar, the skeleton, as you open the door, the skeleton is immediately on you, but what do you do? Because you're much faster than it.
Smash it.
Yeah. Ooh, I get to battle again in Daggerheart. I gotta remind myself what the hell to do. Yeah, I think Azakar is gonna bring up his scimitar, and he is gonna go in for an attack. Seeing that it's sort of clanking up while it's trying to maneuver itself up, he's just gonna go for it while he can.
Okay. In which case, yeah, roll to hit.
That is an 13.
13
with hope.
That is a hit, and I won't need to ask of anything more. As this thing kind of rattles towards you, you bring the sword up and like it severs at the spine just below the ribcage and clatters into 2 bits. The cold kind of blue glow in its eye sockets fades away along with this ghostly, and then you watch as the corporeal form of the skeleton then turns into a blue fog-like mist and disappears away. You like looking around you. Lucretia is sort of like close to you. I would argue Vanier and Rayri are probably far away from you, and it's like a different part of town. But yeah, do you want to head anywhere, Azakar?
Yeah, Azakar's gonna head over to Lucretia and say, like, I think we found at least probably what an issue is. I think we should get out of here and warn the others.
That was amazing. You just cut it in half straight away.
Yes, that's what I do. Come on.
Who wants to jump in next?
Just understand, the creatures that are coming our way, are they within 5 feet of each other, or are they spread out?
So, you've just heard the sound of Azakar bisecting one of these skeletons, but as you turn and look, you can see that there is a group of 3 that are kind of clustered together, and they're just sort of like as they stumble towards you.
Find some action. Can I? As I look at Rayri.
Do it.
I blow my cape forward and present these gauntlets that start blowing with icy wind.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say, I throw the cloak back and press through these cannons!
That's only when Lucretia's looking. So yeah, Yeah, I charge straight at these creatures, and I am going to use a hope to make a whirlwind attack because they're all clustered together.
Okay, so as you charge down these 3 skeletons, you notice that they seem to be wearing these kind of like torn cloths and rags. Like one's got like a bandana of sorts, and the clothing is quite flowing. In this moment, the word that kind of springs to your mind, Vanier, is corsair. These skeletons seem pirate-like. But yes, their eyes glowing, their jaw, like the one at the front that kind of lumbers towards you, its jaw is only connected on one side, so it swings as it kind of begins loping towards you.
Vanya gets up to the one that's sort of closest in front, at high speed, presenting this gauntlet that's just blowing with this primal magic as he throws a fist towards it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my attack roll.
Yeah.
Let me just see if... No, because I'm going to be spending a hope anyway. If I hit... Right, so that's going to be a +3 on this roll. Come on, boy! So, that is 8 plus 7, 1, 2... So that's 15 plus 3, so that's an 18 to hit with hope.
Yep. So you were down to 2, so that takes you back up to 3.
It takes me back up to 3. And because they're clumped together, I'm going to spend that hope that I just gained.
Yep. So back down to 2.
Use my feature, Whirlwind, which basically I can spend a hope and I can use that roll against every enemy within the weapon's range. And they any additional creatures that are hit their AC take half that amount of damage.
Okay.
So I am going to roll my 2d10 plus 3 damage. Plus 3. Roll
12.
I rolled 12 damage in total, and so that would mean that the other 2 skeletons take 6 damage as bits of icy wind sort of blasts off in that arc of a punch.
Vanier, describe to me what happens to these 3 skeletons.
Again, have you seen One Punch Man? It speeds up with an almighty force and speed, and it almost in that, like, as the camera pans down in that slow motion, as this fist comes from underneath the cloak, the gauntlets glow with this blue across these veins on the stone, and you can see all the the wind and ice sort of build up in that one slow punch before it just almost like pushing a tornado out of its fist just creates this just concussive blast of icy wind that just scatters the bones.
Okay, in which case, Lucretia and Rayri, you watch and hear as bits of shattered bone are blown away from the spot where these 3 skeletons once stood. But interestingly, even as they ricochet off the walls of the buildings nearby, before they hit the grounds, they also kind of dissipate into a cold, foggy mist. And once again, the town, the outpost, is silent.
Ah.
Sorry, I should have saved some for you, Riri.
How did you get scared of them? Did you see one of them had like an eye patch? Like
What?
a little, like, you look like a pirate.
Like a pirate?
He had like an eye patch. He had like a little bandana.
So we're facing undead pirates here.
I must
That's
say,
pretty cool.
it's not looking fantastic for the people of this township, is it? I can sense an atmosphere of necromancy hanging around the place.
What was that? The undead? Did that give you that sort of necromancy vibe?
Well, yes, but
Yeah.
it permeates the whole place, not just coming from them.
Do you think they came from, or up there?
I think I know what happened. Picture this. Flying ghostly ship arrives above town.
Yeah.
Few of these skelly bobs come down, kill the people in the town, and take them as extra crew on their ship. And now they're coming to this other new town with more skelly bobs
My.
on
How
their
grisly.
ship.
40 to 50.
I've got the smarts, you see.
He's very smart.
So, with this kind of discovery in mind, is there anything else you're doing in Tanth Bridge, or Eldra, who has been with you all this time, is just stood sort of like mouth agape because she's just watched a wolfkin man punch 3 skeletons into bone meal. But yeah, is there anything you want? Is there any other investigation you want to do here, or now that you've got an idea of what you're facing, are you gonna head back to Toon?
Azakar. Does your divine magic have extra punch against these creatures?
I will be honest, I've never tried. I've never been up against the undead.
Really?
No. This is a first.
Well, we're all learning new things, aren't we?
I came across some undead once. It was not pretty. The story for another time. Why don't we head back? I think we make a plan of attack. Yeah.
Dan, who is the sprite that's with us again?
Eldra Macewind. So she's an Auran sprite. Yeah,
and she's already been here.
So she just kind of had a little wander around, had a look.
Presumably she didn't come across any undead.
Well, you notice that she looks a bit like, she's absolutely amazed at what she's just seen. But yeah, Azakar, as you kind of begins to put 2 and 2 together, like how come she didn't see these? She looks at you a bit sheepishly, and I mean, I didn't get that close to the outpost. You understand?
What close did you get?
And she sort of like looks around and then looks back up the path that you've come down to, like the crest of the hill. It was the silence. When I noticed that it was completely silent, I just turned and left.
Oh.
There is nothing to be ashamed of.
Sounds jolly sensible, actually.
This is an unusual... I mean, after the eschaton, we are facing all sorts of strange situations.
Unknown horrors.
She nods. I mean, I've slain a 3-claw horngrix and all by myself, and I mean that just.
Have you?
Yes, she says, and she like the pleading.
She did as a card. be so skeptical.
She just told us she came here and she hadn't.
It was a lie by omission. She was on her own. She was scared.
A freehorn Kulgrik. I've tried some of that before.
Have you?
Yeah, Eldra is like, there's a pleading look in her eyes when she says, yes, I have. Yeah, is, and then, well, she looks a bit bashful, and I'm sorry if I misled you in any way, but whatever took all of these people, I feel like, well, with how easily you dispatch your skeletons, perhaps there's something else. Perhaps the ship. Perhaps it's the ship itself.
What did I say? We punch ship out of sky.
Yeah, and that I said, what if there's people on the ship?
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
So yes, are there any other investigations happening here, or are you heading back to 10th Bridge to perhaps set up defences, for example?
Maybe before we go, I want to try out one of my spells. Are there any rules in Daggerheart about the number of times you cast the spells on your codex cards?
They just cost a price of hope or something.
Whatever it says, yeah, on the on the card, it might say it costs something.
I've got one called Reveal, where you make a spellcast roll, and if there's anything hidden within.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, you've dropped out, Julia.
If I could, I guess close range. How far is that?
Sorry, go back to rewind a little bit. Sorry.
So close is 30 feet.
So within 30 feet, I make a spellcast roll, and anything hidden that would be revealed by a roll of that amount gets revealed, basically.
Okay.
I don't know how you determine, like, what would be revealed.
We can work with it. Yeah, if you want to do a reveal, so your spellcast trait is your knowledge. So please roll me a knowledge check.
Right. So it is 20 with hope.
Wow. Lucretia up to 5 hope.
Cheers.
Okay, so 20 with hope.
I get my book and my staff out, and I go.
So what I will say you recognise then is that the spot where these 4 skeletons were are all within 30 feet of you, like within close range of you, and you can sense that the matter that sustained them is flowing towards Cayley Point, but more importantly upwards.
Upwards in the sort of vague direction of Cayley Point, yeah?
Yes.
Great.
Perhaps to...
Excellent.
Sky above.
You might suspect that, based on the descriptions you've had, perhaps to a ship that sails the clouds.
Great. I tell the others that.
Oh, seems like all roads lead to sky ship. Isn't it?
Do we need to get on board the ship?
I was thinking the same. That we...
Could we use that watchtower in the town? That's the tallest thing, right? We climb up the watchtower. We, I don't know...
It's still not the clouds.
But the boat will come down, right?
Okay.
Presumably this is a conversation you're having on the way back to Cayley Point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Marvellous. Okay, so you head back. Realistically you've got about 10 hours left. But in the interest of time, what sort of preparations are we thinking that we would want to start creating? Like task the townsfolk with building, and then they can get started on it over the break.
I definitely think some sort of bomb. Did you say?
A ghost bomb.
A ghost bomb. I definitely think some sort of shelter for the townsfolk. They need to start looking after themselves.
Yeah.
Without constantly going in my character voice, but the suggestions I've kind of was pondering about this. There's cornfields all around, right?
Uh-huh.
If there's like 400 townsfolk, maybe they hide in these cornfields.
Like signs.
And then lob corn at it.
And we build something in the centre where they're all meant to appear, these skellies, to like trap them in and just bombard them.
I'm definitely on board with the trapping the skellies, sort of filtering the skellies into the centre and us fighting them there. Should we not be maybe getting the townsfolk to board up their houses and take refuge in their houses and like board up their windows and get into their basements and all that?
Why don't we make a load of mannequins that look like townsfolk?
Yes.
And then they
a distraction.
And then they'll come down and think they're townsfolk, and then we'll be there like.
I love it.
That's my idea.
So, hang on. So run this by me again.
We're gonna, are we thinking cornfields or board everybody and get everybody to board themselves up into their houses, shore up their defences? I think that maybe. That
I like the mannequin idea. At least
mannequins are a really good idea. We're going to get the townsfolk to make mannequins.
Okay.
Only a couple. They only need a few.
Just to kind of stand in the middle of the town, being like, "Oh, I'm just a villager.
I'm just buying an apple. One, please."
Okay.
Okay, so there's that. Definitely. I think that's really good.
And
sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would like Lucretia to do some thinking in her noggin about everything she's ever read about undead, ideally skeletal pirates. I want to know, can we fight them? Can we...
Well,
I mean, we can based on our experience so far, but like, is there any chance there's going to be trickier stuff to deal with that we might need to prepare for?
So, okay. So we've got how can we fight them? So at the very least, you know that you would presume that these skeletons are a crew of some sort, and they at the very least were physically tangible.
Yeah.
The true nature of the ship is yet unknown, as of yet unknown. But yeah, I mean, have you got like an experience that you can lean on that you might?
I've got my academic savant. Like, I have read a lot of stuff.
So there is an idea that if you are happy to kind of spend a hope for an experience, you automatically succeed if it's relevant. So in exchange for a hope, we can rely on your academic savantness.
Okay.
I can just tell you.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Well, down to 4 hope. Your suspicions are confirmed when you see this kind of manna kind of wafting away back up into the sky. That perhaps what you're facing, you've read stories and theses on grave ships, which are ghost-like vessels that sail the skies, and the boat itself is a incorporeal mass, but it is actually made up of the trapped spirits within. And sort of like having seen everything that you've seen, like when the crew, which are the souls of the damned that are bound to the ship, kind of go to land so to speak. They become corporeal, but when they return to a incorporeal manner-like state. But it also feeds on, it feeds on the living. It feeds on life energy, and/or it swells its crew with the living.
Oh my god. Hate that. Absolutely hate that.
So perhaps, but you also know that because it is this kind of gestalt entity, it takes the visage of a flying ship, but with like holes in it and broken masts and tattered. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know what.
Sails. Thank you. Tattered sails.
Yes.
But it is a conglomeration of mana, so it might not always present itself as a ship.
Right. Okay. But so the important thing is it's incorporeal when it's sailing.
Yes.
In the sky, but then when it lands, or when the spirits make landfall, they will be corporeal and we can fight them.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can destroy the ship.
In a manner of speaking, I suppose.
You could punch a hole through the ship.
Can I punch the ship?
You can punch spirits from the ship, for sure. I'm not sure about the ship itself when it's airborne. Should we talk to the priestess?
I was going to say that, yeah.
Okay. So, the to-do list is talk to the priestess, get the townsfolk to begin barricading themselves in their... Are you going for the fields, or are you going for the homes?
Let me...
The fields feel quite a vulnerable place if they get discovered. They're just in the open.
Okay. Here's a little thinkaroo.
Yeah.
Thinkaroo.
I got an idea. This is me, just above board. If we're gonna board them in their houses, I still like this mannequin idea. If we can make a bunch of mannequins, near the tower.
Oh, sorry, we lost you, Dan.
The tower.
Oh.
That all the townspeople are in the watchtower area, so they will drop down there, but we then have these hidden wooden walls to raise up as soon as they will drop down, so we trap them within a certain area.
Okay. So you're going to speak with the priestess. The townsfolk are going to barricade themselves in their homes, etc., etc., and you're going to build a number of decoy target dummies, World of Warcraft style, around the watchtower, as well as defences palisades that effectively come up to ring in, fence in the skeletons that drop down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if any of them manage to get outside of that, then it's easier to pick them off first and deal with the ones in. And who knows, we might be able to procure holy water or things that might be effective against undead that we can chuck into the pit of death.
Nice.
Okay. In which case, it sounds like we have a plan. So, as you arrive back in Cayley Point, who's going to head over to the priestess? We'll pick up with that after the break.
I will. Yeah.
Azakar? Okay, marvellous. So, Azakar's going to speak to the priestess while the other three of you kind of put the townsfolk to task. But yeah, I think that's a good point as any to go for a quick break. So, if you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, make sure to hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, because then you can chat to us in the chat, like good old Chris, who has actually evolved over the space of tonight. And you never know, it might have a similar effect on you. We also have loads of other TTRPG stuff running on the channel, and we wouldn't want you to miss out on it. So yeah, do yourself a favour, hit the subscribe button. We will see you all in about 15 minutes. How's that sound?
Nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
See you in a bit. Bye.